Namaste, Prakash here. Welcome to the next edition of Dharma Tales. Let's debate. When destiny has already pre-decided in some way or another as to how a person's death is going to come, can mere mortals do anything to change it? Mahabharata gives us a peep into several fascinating stories, sub-stories, and plots, which keeps teaching us how mere mortals, by their own efforts, sometimes will not be in a position to hold up Dharma. Nature has its own course, and nature finds its own way of settling certain scores in a very strange way. In today's story, we are going to look at two Yadavas who are very close to Krishna, who loved him a lot, who stayed with him. Yet, during the time of Mahabharat war, they had to be on two opposite sides for whatever strange reason. Yet, these two warriors never got killed in spite of Mahabharata being fought by much bigger warriors. Somehow they managed to escape. Or did they? Was something else waiting for them elsewhere? We are going to talk today about the story of Kritavarma and Satyaki, two Yadavas who are very close to Krishna throughout their lifetime. They loved him a lot. In fact, Satyaki and Kritavarma were part of those who actually trained Abhimanyu when Arjun's wife had gone there for delivery during the time of exile. It's a very interesting twist and tales. If you might recall, in the beginning of when Lord Krishna was in Dwaraka, some sages had visited, and one of his errand sons, who had gone on the wrong side of Dharma, Samba, had created some fun for by holding a mace in his stomach and making himself look like a woman who is pregnant. He had actually got a curse for the entire Yadava clan to be killed at a specific time and date into the future. And subsequently, it so happened that even at the time when Mahabharat war had ended, even Gandhari created the same curse for the Yadavas, including Lord Krishna himself. If you look at the story of Satyaki and Kritavarma, Satyaki fought on the side of Pandavas along with the Narayani warriors, as the Yadavas were called, and Kritavarma took the side of Kauravas. To be fair, on either side, they split on two sides and they were fighting. And Kritavarma was considered to be much more cunning, whereas Satyaki was a person who was considered to be able to even read the hearts of people by just looking at them. If you look at Satyaki, he and Bhima had actually cornered Karna on one of the days when they were about to kill Karna. Karna had been completely defeated in the war by both of them fighting together, Bhima and Satyaki. And they were almost on the verge of killing Karna. At that point of time, Bhima just stops the war and then moves away, telling Satyaki also to come along. Because Satyaki is the one who understood and told Bhima that Arjun had already taken a vow of killing Karna by himself. So, in fact, Bhima says that if I kill you today, I will not give the chance of my brother settling the scores, and hence I will not do that. In fact, the same happens with Arjun. He had come close to killing Duryodhan on a couple of occasions, but still did not do it because he had told Duryodhan that it was Bhim who had wanted to kill him in a specific way by tearing open his thighs, on which he had told Draupadi to sit, and hence he did not kill him either. The same way, if you look at the other side, Kritavarma is the one who actually, on the day when Abhimanyu took charge and he moves in into the Chakravyu, Kritavarma is the one who finally literally falls into the floor before others pounce on him and kill. In fact, if Arjun had in some way a revenge to take, it was Kritavarma whom he should have killed. Instead, his mind is diverted towards Jayatradhan, on whom he goes and takes the revenge the next day before sunset. All these ploys and turns and twists are very, very interesting to really understand and go through. At the end of the Mahabharata war, on the day of 18th, before the sunset, it was Kritavarma who actually observes on how the crows, wanting to have some food, goes and fights with the bats. Rather, they just plunge into the area where bats are staying. And we all know that bats cannot see during the daytime, and hence they are actually staying or hanging somewhere in the trees. But crows actually go and take food out of by killing the bats and having them as food. And in turn, as the sun sets and crows cannot see in the night, which is a known fact, and bats who can see, which are nocturnal birds or animals you want to call, they in turn pounce and finish off all the crows. And Kritavarma has been watching all this on the sidelines. And from this, in fact, he is the one who gives the advice to Ashwatthama to go and finish off all the Pandavas when they are actually sleeping. He says if birds and animals can do it, we are capable of doing it also. Nature's law cannot operate differently. And that's how he convinces Ashwatthama, and whatever transpired on that night where Ashwatthama kills all the Pandavas and all the progenies and all the warriors and the soldiers who are part of them, all this happens. In spite of all this, though Arjun again wants to take revenge on Ashwatthama, he forgets the abettor to the crime, who is Kritavarma, mainly because somewhere nature had already preordained the way in which Dharma has to be established by the death of Satyaki and Kritavarma. 36 years precisely later, on the day when the Yadavas are supposed to fight and die, the maize which had been converted into a blade of grass on the sands of the river which was running along Dwaraka is exactly where finally Satyaki and Kritavarma get completely drunk, and then they start the entire downfall of Yadavas by killing each other. It's a very interesting twist and turns. If you really look at the story of Kritavarma and Satyaki, both are really great warriors. Yet, for whatever they did, somehow the anger of the people did not turn upon them, it turned elsewhere. Is it a play of the nature? Had nature already preordained how they are going to die? Because they already carried the curse of the sages who visited Dwaraka, where Samba played tricks on them by acting as a pregnant woman. The same way Gandhari gave a curse to the Yadavas. And maybe because of that, Arjun's anger on Kritavarma was actually turned towards Ashwatthama. After all, in the entire storyline, Ashwatthama was only an arrow, but he was shot by Kritavarma, who convinced him that killing people when they were sleeping is all right. If crows and bats can do, we can do it also. It's a very interesting story. The same way, many times, even in our own personal lives, we always go after the arrow. We don't look at the person who actually shot it. The same happened during Mahabharata time as well. Or maybe there was a message through the dharmic equation that had to be set right. Let's debate this story. Go to the columns below the video. Analyze this story, which spanned over several years, decades, before it unfolded in the death of Satyaki and Kritavarma in the banks of the river going along Dwaraka. What did we learn from this story? How does it apply to the current world when the same kind of people who abet crimes are going away scot free, whereas the arrows are being caught and even punished many times? Let's take to the comment section, share our insights on what this story really means to us in terms of what we have learned, the thermic equations, and all that. Dharma Tales, let's debate. Till we meet again, this is Prakash signing off.